Moving on to item 7, Communications Unit Training Recognition Program Update. Blake?
Can I have that? Okay, thank you again for the opportunity to present on the Communications Unit Training and Recognition Program. These first slides are some introduction as to what the program is and consists of, what a communication unit is. It plays a critical role in the ICS structure because they establish the principles and tools that are needed in order to make this system work. This slide particularly speaks of the different positions that are in a communications unit, and I'll be speaking particularly to the first two, the COML and the COMT. The communications leader is in charge of the communications unit and responsible for integrating all of the communications and ensuring that the operations are supported. COML needs to understand all of the ICS, and the biggest thing that I wanted to show here is that the last bullet there is that the COML is responsible for all the duties of any unfilled subordinate positions. So until he's delegated those, he's responsible for them. He or she is responsible for them. The role of the COMT is to provide for the technical aspects of the communication systems, training the users on the use of equipment, verifying that they're programmed properly, and assisting the COML in the development of the 205s. This slide is just to show us that the communications unit is under the directions of the logistics section, and that the communications leader is in charge of all of those underneath of him. COMLs and COMTs go through particular training, ICS 700, 800, 100, 200, and for COMLs, ICS 300. They are to complete a legible all hazards position task book and to receive evaluators, verifications, and signature. And then they are certified by their Arizona agency. I want to use the two words certified and recognized and make a distinction between the two. At this particular point, they are certified by their agency to be a COML for their agency. Optionally, they're able to go through what is called an Arizona Regional All Hazard Communications Unit Recognition Procedure. The All Hazards COML courses are led by two Department of Homeland Security approved COML instructors. In 2009 we had 6 classes, 2011 3, 2012 4, and recently had in this year 6 additional classes with an additional 72 people who have been trained in the COML training. Once a course has been scheduled with ADEM, an announcement is mailed out to all the interested parties. Qualified participants have to register for the COML courses through an IRMA registration process. As of 2013, we have 253 students who have completed the COML course. This is broken down by county. You may actually, this is me trying to make sure that we get the right person in the right county. You'll notice that Graham, Gila, Greenlee, and LaPlace still are lacking in the number of COMLs, but we are making progress. This is better than we had a year ago. This last group of, as Susan put it, bonanza COML courses, I like that word, was to get out to as many people as we could. So 253 people through this. The COMT training has also been successful in the last several years. It is led by 2 trained federally recognized COMT instructors. Because of the course size, it's limited, and so about 15 students are the max that they can hold. And to date, 5 COMT courses have been held with 82 trained in the COMT. We've held 2 this year in Flagstaff and in Yuma. Once an individual has completed their task book and received a final evaluator's verification, they are certified by their Arizona agency. I want to make sure that people understand that they are valuable to that agency and they are eligible to apply for recognition as an Arizona Regional All Hazards COM Units Leader or Technician. Application materials are received by the PSIC office and forwarded on to a NIMS CU work group. This work group convenes approximately 2 weeks before this meeting, and the work group reviews each of the candidates' applications and discusses it on just the task book's merits, the depth of the training, the number of training, the exercises, the depth and complexity of that. Candidates granted recognition by the NIMS-CU work group are issued a document confirming their designation. This designates that they are recognized by the state. Their certifying agencies are informed of that recognition, and they're added to a resource list called the Regional All Hazards Communication Unit Resource List. And this recognition remains current for 3 years. Here is a slide breaking it down by the discipline. Currently we have 20 Regional All Hazards COMLs recognized and 5 COMTs. And you'll notice that the breakout is pretty good between emergency management, fire, law enforcement, and others, which are government groups, Red Cross, etc. We have recognized people in 6 different counties throughout the state, and they are listed on our website. This is the area that I really would like to emphasize here, is that we have some current gaps in the program. There are 9 Arizona-based COML instructors, as was said earlier in the discussion by Justin, and only 2 COMT instructors, and the lack of COMT instructors both nationally and in Arizona results in a significant cost for delivering the COMT course. There's a shortage of COMLs and COMTs to sign off on task books, and while we now use incident commanders and supervisors that can sign off on task books, we'd like to move to some to more recognized COMLs and COMTs. And because there is a lack of them, there's fewer mentorship opportunities in the state, and we need to get more COMLs and COMTs that can sign off on these task books. The lack of incident and event opportunities to get the task book signed is a problem. We need to open up as many opportunities for these people to shadow and to work these events and incidences. The lack of continuing education opportunities for renewal of candidates is also a problem. And a lot of this comes from the awareness of the value of communications units at the executive level. Lack of awareness of the value of certified COMLs and COMTs to the agency operations, and we are working on that. You notice the TAs that are potentially are potentials for the state. I listed 4 of them that we could use: the communications to train the trainer, as you discussed earlier, the all hazard COMT courses, and leader exercises and unit exercises. Communications unit trainer field day, we had one this year in February.
The The conference has been muted.
Don't do it on the phone right there.
No, that just means you.
That just mutes me.
Yeah.
Okay. And,
All right, I'll jump into it.
right, go to right there. We had the training field day, which was a big success, and we appreciate all those who worked on that, and wanted to say thank you for all those who spend their time, and thank you to the agencies that are allowed their people to attend that and to work there. Planning is now underway for another field day. It allows emergency responders to hone their skills, and individuals who have completed the COML and COMT are invited to this opportunity. And parties who are interested in participating should contact me and say that they would like to send people, how many people, and we'll get started on the process of making sure that they are trained to a certain level and are ready for that field day. Upcoming trainings, we have, as was mentioned earlier, all 5 Homeland Security RACs recommended grant funding for communications unit training. The number of offerings will depend on the amount of funds awarded, and the PSIC office welcomes suggestions. We just want you to keep in mind for where COML courses will be held. Just keep in mind that they're currently 3 days in length. We need to be able to accommodate 30 to 50 people, and that's just because we need space for breakout sessions and area to move around. We need about a minimum of 15 students to attend, with a maximum of approximately 30, and they have to be qualified participants in the statewide to register for the course. The PSIC office is developing a COML best practices guide. I want to make sure we make this clear, these next 3 items here. It's for anyone assigned as a communications unit leader in an ICS or NIMS incident. This is not intended to act or replace as official policy, required training, or direction from any higher authority. And so this is not a policy. It's used as a resource, or there's going to be checklists, duties and responsibilities, sample ICS forms in them, and it'll be sent out to our MCU work group for comment and additions presented at some future meeting. There is also an executive leadership seminar on public safety coming up. Agencies in Arizona and around the country struggle with how do they use incident commanders, or how do incident commanders use communications units. Participation in this seminar, we would like executive level people to be at, so that they can hear and understand the speakers that will share lessons learned in real life examples as to how they use communications units or centers in their roles in events and training exercises. This will be held on the 19th of November, 8 to 12 p.m. in this room right here, Suite 300. Justin, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
And we don't have the formal announcement out yet, but expect it either later this week or early next week. This has kind of been in the works for a little bit. We'll be having this in the morning. There's a TSCC meeting that afternoon. Some of the speakers that have been invited so far, we have folks coming in from Massachusetts that were involved in both the response to the Boston bombing incident and Hurricane Sandy. Commissioner Worrell Mike Worrell with the Phoenix Fire Department will discuss some of his experiences as the COML in the aftermath of the Yarnell fire. We're trying to bring in perspectives from law and fire, incident commanders, and COML. One of the gentlemen that we've asked to speak is a gentleman from the City of Phoenix Police who has pretty much been their go-to ops section sheet for all major events over the last 5 years, and so he'll talk about his experiences. And the purpose of this workshop really is or seminar I should say, is to provides incident commanders, agency executive leadership, an understanding on the communications unit, the value of that unit, and kind of talk about how to roll from a PSAP dispatch center oriented comm structure to establishing NIMS ICS. I think fire has that down inherently on all their operations. With law enforcement, it's a little bit different. Usually the dispatcher is the COML for those activities. And so this workshop, we hope to kind of talk about some of those things as well, primarily to address some of those gaps that Blake mentioned earlier.
In order to finish here, what I would like to let you know as a committee, what we would like from you is we would like input as to who should be a COMT train the trainer, who in your experience would be you'd be able to recommend for this type of level, what we should do, how many we should have throughout. We think that we have 2 right now. We think that having 6, I think that's the number that we are really trying for, is to work throughout the state for these COMT courses, and who should be put through first. Is there anything else?
And on that, I mean, obviously we'll have time. The committee has expressed an interest in getting that TA, so if we're awarded, we're looking, towards the end of this year. But we want you to be thinking about that in terms of, are there candidates for this class and who you would recommend, because we'll have to compile that presentation.
This word of the lies might be going for quality and not quantity.
Exactly.
Regarding ICS, and rushing people through just to get them certified is not a good idea at this point, because ICS nationwide is going to be reevaluated because of the RNL.
Absolutely. And one thing in particular on the COMT classes, this is a very technical course. The candidates are going to need to, know all about ACU 1000 and 700 megahertz in VHF, UHF systems. So there is a lot in that 5-day course. So obviously being a COMT is a requirement, but being highly proficient in being a COMT is I think, the key element there.
Okay.
And that ends my presentation. Thank you.
All right, Blake, thanks. We're just